It's about that time of day again, folks. Welcome back to Nightly Newsletter, boys and girls. Joseph James here. Tuesday evening, December 1st, 2015. Kicking off the brand new month of December. Got another jam-packed newsletter in store for you, kiddos. Starting off this evening with crude oil, trading at the lows of a short-term trading range. We got a bull channel this evening as well, which tells us to expect range and channel rotation back higher on Wednesday. All we have to worry about tomorrow on the black gold is that inventory report. We're going to plan for you guys while we're looking for buying opportunities on crude tomorrow. The E-mini S&P is bullish above the holiday high, which tells us we're bullish, but the buyers must hold this next deep pullback if they're going to keep this momentum going forward. Get a very important plan for the S&P traders here. We're going into uncharted territory on the S&P. We'll see how it goes for tomorrow. Gold is looking quite bullish as well after the bulls showed some strength after the measured correction off the highs. Measured correction off the highs on gold lined up perfectly at the lows of a bull channel, which tells us we're looking for buying opportunities as long as we see proof tomorrow on the yellow metal. Last but not least, the euro is bullish and rotating higher this evening after a bull channel low was tested this evening. Our plan is to look for pullbacks at support, but we're going to be keeping an eye on those counter trend traps for a few specific reasons on the euro as we go up to those channel highs. As you guys can tell, we get a plan for crude, E-mini S&P, gold, and the euro for you boys and girls tomorrow, Wednesday's session. Before we jump into our chart still for tonight, I do want to remind you to make sure you're watching this video on the blog at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video on our YouTube channel, that's wonderful. There's a link right in the description of the YouTube video. Click that link. It'll take you over here to my Sideways Markets blog. Couple reasons why it's in your best interest to watch the video here. First of all, if you're not a member of our advanced membership, if you'd like to get a free pass to attend our live trade room, come out and join as a guest here this week. Grab your free pass in the upper left-hand corner. Lower left-hand corner, you'll see a spot to register for our nightly newsletter mailing list. All I need is your name, your email address, and then, of course, check your inbox. I'm going to send you a verification email to make sure we have the right email address. Then you'll never miss another newsletter ever again. Right below the video tonight, you'll see a spot to download all the charts you'll see me using in tonight's video. How nice is that? And then over on the right-hand side, you can learn more about joining our trial membership, our 3 levels of membership, read real member reviews, and of course, don't forget we've always got someone standing by 24/7, 365 to give you guys a hand. I think we're ready to rock and roll. Boy, oh boy, what an exciting week it's been. And it's only Tuesday. Getting ready for a Wednesday edition. Now, don't forget, starting off on crude here this evening, we've got a news alert tomorrow. We've got inventories tomorrow. Don't forget, every Wednesday morning, 10:30 a.m., we hear from the Department of Energy here in the United States. And, of course, we're going to see that window trading around the news tomorrow, 10:15 to 10:45 tomorrow morning. That's our handcuffs time, right, or sitting on hands, whatever it takes, duct tape, handcuffs, cattle prods. Make sure we're staying away from this market as a day trader tomorrow between 10:15 and 10:45. We'll be trading this market live in real time in our trade room tomorrow morning, so I'll be making sure you do it the right way if you're with me here at School of Trade. This is going to be the most challenging chart of the evening, in my opinion. I don't quite often look at a chart and not know what's going on. I really had to dig into this one for a while. It's a real simple chart, but when you look at it on a blank chart, it does not look pretty at first. So this one's going to be the one I definitely see being the most challenging for tomorrow. You throw in that inventory report tomorrow, and all of a sudden we have a bit of a scenario that may have traders trading a little bit lightly tomorrow morning. You know, it's always amazing to us as professionals because when we pick up on this, when we pick up on scenarios that are more challenging, we assume that other traders are having the same level of concern as well. So, you know, it's one of those things as technical traders, we leverage the self-fulfilling prophecy. And when I look at this chart the first time this evening, I immediately think, wow, this is going to catch a lot of people off guard. There's actually 3 things that I see on this chart right now. First of all, we definitely can see this triangle, if you will. And that ultimately is one of the most important clues because you'll notice we get the rotation from low to high, back down to low. We jump up and then collapse back down in. So this should be where the pullback traders are looking to buy that triangle. So that's definitely a bullish clue by itself right there. The second bullish clue we see is going to be this. In all reality, it's not really the best channel I've ever seen. We got some great rotation on it, low to high, high to low, low to high, high to low. So naturally, we're looking for the rotation to push higher. We've got some measured moves to use as targets, right? So channel rotation, measured move rotation, right? And then the third clue, which you really got to look closely because at first it's not very easy to see, but there's definitely a trading range in here. And that trading range is a third bullish clue that we see on this chart. Remember we said last night, on last night's newsletter, remember this flag down, the spiking channel down, right? And we talked about buyer failure, and selling it back down. Well, that was a nice, easy selling opportunity early in the session this morning. Remember what I said last night too, if it breaks to the low side though, don't sell it right here. Wait to sell it until buyers fail. They never failed. So the buyers are holding that low. If you look left, right, if you were to look left right now, we are at the low of one big monster range. So this is kind of a medium-term range. I don't like to kind of muddy the water by looking too much into multiple days in the past, but if you did look backwards though, not as reliable as today's information. Remember kids, if you're a day trader, use today's information. It's the most reliable. I always remind my clients, don't take the easy route and use the prior information as a crutch because our brains are very powerful. Right? Our brain is really powerful at finding an open parking spot, but that same power, it makes us lazy traders because it doesn't force us to think what's happening right now, right? Resist the temptation to don't be a lazy trader and use what happened in the past. I realize what happened in the past is likely to happen in the future, but I rely on today's information to give me setups that have happened frequently in the past that I can rely on in the future. So as of right now, medium-term range, we're at the low of that range. And again, after watching these sellers try once, try twice, two significant tries from those sellers, we're ahead of news tomorrow. It feels very, very bullish right now. I have a very, very hard time saying anything about the sell side, but tomorrow's news really is the variable. One, again, I've made pretty good sense of it, but if I was to remove all this stuff right now, I think this is going to confuse a lot of traders tomorrow. Two, we see three very bullish clues, right? Channel rotation, measured move rotation. Now, I guess four, right? Four big clues. We get that triangle. The triangle really is kind of a marginal clue because we haven't really got to the edge of that triangle yet. And then again, the range rotation, right? Rotating from high to low and then back up to high. So as of right now, I'm with the bulls as we watch this day open up tomorrow. That means we're looking for counter trend traps. We're buying pullback set support, and we're making sure to keep an eye on those targets. Target number one is going to be up at the high of that range, 42.19. Target number two to leave a runner up at the channel high. And then if you really get perky here, we get the 42.82, which is just simply that trading range copied and pasted higher. If we do see it make a run lower, I will be looking for seller failure again. And in all reality, a run lower here overnight, probably a gift from the crude oil buying, the bullish trading gods tomorrow, right? A dip lower, we'll look to catch those sellers on the wrong side of the market and look to be a buyer into their stop losses on the oil. Again, we'll be trading this tomorrow in real time. The only real variable is when this happens tomorrow because we got 10:15. It's going to be our cutoff for day trading tomorrow morning to get around that news. Next up here on the S&P, the S&P appears to be, now the rest of these charts are pretty darn easy. They're all relatively strong trends. The gold we still have some concerns about, we'll talk about in a moment. The S&P looks good until you look left. And then you realize that we just broke above that Thursday holiday high. And you'll notice we did that and it went right to the big round number. We're sitting there right now. We're right at the 2100. So we're definitely bullish. We're getting higher highs. We're getting higher lows. The question is can they hold it right now, right? Can they hold it? So really, I think a lot of traders right now, they see this bull channel right? They see the measured move target overhead, right? So we got measured move targets, we've got rotation targets, right? We blasted right out of this little short-term trading range, a little fake break of the low, and see ya. Great buying opportunity late in the morning, or should I say early afternoon Eastern time this morning or this afternoon, depending on if you're living on Eastern time or West Coast time like I am. And of course, big concern right now is, like I said, the holiday high at 98 and a quarter. We just poked our head out and we're up around that big round number. What I want to see is can we hold this next pullback? And really what I'm looking for is I'm looking for, as it pulls back and that moving average curls over, right? Can those sellers, are they able to hold it? And if they're able to hold it, it just basically tells you we need to get more information tomorrow. Really what I'm looking for here is that deep pullback. I won't be too surprised if we slip below the moving average, but I will be surprised if they hold it, right, on the opposite side. That's going to be the big clue as we pull back. So again, wait for that deep pullback. If they can't keep it going from there, again, if that moving average trend lines start acting as resistance, then we know those sellers are too strong. And of course, we'll look for a deeper pullback, right, before looking for the following buying opportunities later in the morning. So again, very skeptical right now. We know we're bullish. It's almost too easy at this point, right? It's almost too easy. Now, we do have this is a third push higher. So we're definitely looking at some very, very strong bulls that have had to push up to this high. I don't want to say we're due for a correction because the market's never due for a correction, but this is that time where we make that pop up to that big round number. Again, just be suspicious of that next pullback. I don't really want to blindly buy it. I'm going to wait for proof on that pullback before we buy the next deep round of corrections. Next up here on the gold, the yellow metal. Gold's looking quite bullish after the bulls showed some strength today. We got a measured correction off those highs, which lined up perfectly at the lows of the bull channel. Now this tells us to look for buying opportunities as long as we see proof tomorrow. We haven't forgotten about that little snafu that happened over the holiday weekend, right, that occurred earlier on this week. Because if the buyers can't keep it together, we're going to go back to that low like we talked about last night. Remember what happened earlier this week? We had that little market mistake where price literally tumbled on rollover, tumbled on the Thanksgiving holiday. They made it all back, as you can see, right? So they actually took back. And again, like we talked about last night, I thought of this as a gap, right? Just kind of a gap. It's almost like a lost day, and it just gets sucked right back up in. So in all reality, this information is the most important information. And we talked about this last night, right? Like I said last night, I think a lot of wise traders were going to wait until they saw the end of the day today to then make some, good educated guesses as far as where we're going here. So here's what I'm seeing right now. I'm definitely seeing if this is a coincidence, then it's a really darn good coincidence because this channel lines up really, really nice. You'll notice it lines up very well off these lows. And honestly, I wouldn't think anything of it. But look at how the bulls reacted. I mean, the bulls literally just smoked this thing, aggressively buying it, blowing right through the moving average. Looks very, very strong to me. What this looks like is that everyone and their brother-in-law were waiting to buy that pullback here, and they did right there. Now where we go from there is anybody's guess. We definitely have a measured correction. No wonder we saw, I don't think it's profit taking. That does not look like profit taking the way that it followed up this move. So we're definitely looking bullish right now. The question is, where do we go from here, though? That's the real question. We got a gap here, a pending unfilled gap at 59.8. You'll notice the 50% pullback here at 62.7. That hasn't been made yet. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see it dip lower, seller failure, and then get the next buying run. This is just one of those scenarios where this is going to be really, really easy if it just takes off to the upside here. If it takes off to the upside, we're definitely looking good here to buy pullbacks on the way up to the target up around those channel highs. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that target as it goes higher. We have a long-term measured move target up around the 85.3. That's a little bit too much to be biting off right now, right? I think it's a little bit too early to be saying we're calling a measured move to 85.3. This is gold we're talking about, so it's only a few dozen points higher here, so not that big of a deal for gold to move like that, right? We saw a pretty substantial move today on it. So I think the reality right now is really we're looking for more information here. Again, scenario one, it pops higher, perfectly fine by me. Measured corrections on the short-term time frame to buy. Measured corrections in the short-term time frame to buy, right? Catching sellers on the wrong side of the market, buying pullbacks. Our target on the way back up, it's going to be that channel high. I don't think we're going to get that measured move all the way, but if we do get a real runaway market, now you know where your final runner target will be. I would imagine it's probably not going to make it that easy on us, right? If it heads lower, look for them to dig into this 63 to 59 area. And then again, I don't think you can call this a bearish market yet. So I'll look right away for seller failure, right, to start buying at their stop losses. And then again, at this point now, if the buyers can't get it going here, you know where it's going. It's going back to that range low again. So really, if it goes higher, it's a piece of cake. If it goes lower, I'll look for that next retrace to fail to be a buyer. But heck, if it can hold that next retrace and keeps going lower, you pretty much know where we're headed. Back down to that 53 low, back down to that 52 low, and we'll most likely finish up the session tomorrow on the yellow metal. Looking from the yellow metal now to the euro. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, gap down there at the beginning of Globex. Euro is bullish and rotating higher off a bull channel low this evening. So our plan is to look for pullbacks at support and counter trend traps, trying to catch those sellers on the wrong side of the market to achieve the target up around those channel highs. We have measured moves for targets, and we have, of course, channel rotation for targets. Remember, though, during this bullish move, and this is a very good example of it, you can definitely see that gap down right now. Remember to wait for those deep corrections. So really, right now, there's not a lot to talk about on this chart. We have a very clear bullish channel. We're seeing very well-behaved rotation, right? Rotation, rotation, rotation. And so we're expecting as we come off these lows, right? We keep respecting that low as we go higher here. So no reason to think these bulls won't continue this move. All we have to worry about is where our targets are going to be. We have a longer-term measured move. I keep making the wrong, there you go. We get a longer-term measured move up at 0649. We have our shorter term measured move up around the 0656. Just make sure you're aware if and when we achieve those measured moves, we stop buying, we wait for a measured correction, and then catch the opposite side on the wrong side of the market. So as we go higher here, when we achieve that measured move overhead, we stop buying, we look for the measured correction, catch the sellers on the wrong side of the market, and we're back to the races from there if we haven't made the channel rotation. So we're looking for channel rotation, measured move rotation, and again, if price goes higher, we're buying pullbacks up to those measured moves. If price goes lower, we're looking to catch those sellers on the wrong side of the market, right? In this bullish environment right now. The only scenario is if we break lower, we push higher, the sellers are undoubtedly going to try to sell that next retracement. I'll be looking if they fail, right, to buy into their failure. If they don't fail, though, now we start looking at this through the lens of a measured correction lower. We'll look for another round of buyers to enter here. Rinse and repeat, right? At that point, if they hold that low, then we start looking at a revisit of that 0562. Guys, don't forget, we teach all of this information, trade this information live in real time in our trade room every day here at School of Trade. Bullish environment here on Euro. We know the plan for both directions now. On the gold, we've corrected that mistake. Very, very bullish right now. Very similar scenario here on the Euro and gold right now. Just looking to buy those pullbacks on the way up to that channel rotation up at the highs. Don't forget, deep pullbacks are the most reliable trades during bullish trends. On the S&P, this is the one that I think you're really going to be patient with right now. Again, we broke above the holiday high, right to that big round number. No surprise here for a pullback, but can we hold that pullback? If we can't hold that pullback, then of course we'll have to worry about a deeper level here. We'll probably see these guys dig into these lows, run some stops down here, and then of course seller failure to buy it back up. So be patient on that, wait for proof. I always love when we see a nice deep pullback, I always love to look for seller failure, the opposite side of the market, right? That'll be your easiest opportunity to be a buyer on that next deep pullback. And then again, really my money's on the bulls here tomorrow. The only variable for crude oil is the inventory report tomorrow. So make sure you're here with me tomorrow morning. We'll be live in real time at 8 o'clock Eastern time when we open up our trade room with our members here at School of Trade. Speaking of members, I want to remind you guys, again, news tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll wrap up here with some news analysis. Tomorrow, the 2nd, we've got news tomorrow, 8:15, 8:30, and then, of course, that big news tomorrow from the petroleum status report at 10:30. The beige book tomorrow, I don't trade the afternoon. I'll get into trades in the morning, but I won't be getting into trades in the afternoon, not that late in the afternoon. Most important thing, though, for tomorrow is going to be those crude traders at 10:30 tomorrow morning. This, by the way, don't forget, this is not your speech to worry about for Yellen. The speech you want to worry about is on Thursday for Janet Yellen. So tomorrow, I think she's doing the opening and closing remarks at the Economic Club. Yeah, so tomorrow's not the day. You don't have to worry about Yellen tomorrow. That'll be Thursday. We got to worry about Miss Yellen and crew, right? She'll be testifying in front of Congress on Thursday. So major news picks up on Thursday and Friday this week. Tomorrow, really all you got to worry about is the inventory report if you're a crude trader tomorrow morning. And last but not least, I'll remind you guys, head over to schooloftrade.com, check out the free trial. I take a lot of pride in the fact you're going to learn more with me on my free trial than anywhere else on the interwebs. I can guarantee you that. We have 3 levels of membership here at School of Trade: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Whether you're brand new at this and you want to lay your solid foundation of knowledge, get all the skills, all the tools and techniques. We'll teach you all the setups and technical analysis tools we use in the intermediate course, get you learning those patterns, and then in the advanced course, we introduce all of our strategies and our trade setups and welcome you into our live trade room. Don't forget, I've got someone standing by 24/7, 365 to give you guys a hand. Don't be a stranger. No question too big or too small. Guys, great job this week so far. We got another exciting opportunity of trades tomorrow morning. I hope to see you tomorrow morning when we open up at 8 a.m. Eastern time. If not, we'll do it again with our nightly newsletter tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Get out of here, guys. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Most of the country's got pretty good weather this time of the year. I know it's getting a little bit cold out there, but man, December is always a great month of the year. And who can hate on the holiday season? That's for sure. My name is Joseph. Be well out there. Be nice to each other. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.